lowered.
That's good. Okay. Alright, so here is your viola case with the viola inside. So when you're opening the case, you want to make sure that this part is on the bottom and that the zipper part, every case is different, but this will be facing up because this is the direction that the viola is and you don't want it to be upside down.
Okay.
So the Velcro is just a little safety thing, and then you have the two zippers, and you just open it. And voila, there's your viola, not upside down. So just always remember that this should be up.
Okay.
Okay, so when taking out the viola, you just take it, hold it by this, or this, whatever, but just make sure you have a good grip of it so that you don't drop it. And then I'll explain what this stuff is after. But that is the case. So there's that. I'll put this down for now. Okay, so here's your viola. Okay, so I made a diagram showing the parts of the viola, like all the important parts that you should know about, and what they do and how they work and stuff. So, and also, like, when you know all the spots on the viola, it's easier for me to tell you, like, it's easier to direct you. Okay. Yeah, exactly, like, put your finger here, like, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, starting here, that's, like, the main body of the instrument, so that would be all of this. All the, like, and if you want to get specific, this is called the waist.
Like, oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And this part is the neck, just like on a human. It's kind of, you know. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the fingerboard. You see it on the diagram. Where would it be on that?
Like right here?
Right, so the black part?
Okay, yeah.
You're right, good. So that is the board where your fingers go. Okay. Hence the name. So when you're playing, you push your fingers down on the strings, and your fingers are on the fingerboard.
We have to go that far, or is it still this part up here?
All of that.
Oh, okay.
All of this black part is the fingerboard. Okay. So, like, I mean, maybe in, like, 5 years you'll end up playing, like, all the way out there. You know? Like, you're still on the fingerboard, and you'll make sounds up there. Okay. So what lies on top of the fingerboard are your strings. Okay. We'll talk about the names of them after. Tuning pegs are those 4 knobs up there. Okay. So that is how you tune the instrument. You just turn them and it'll adjust accordingly. You don't want to ever do it too much because then your strings could pop. Mm-hmm. And that's no fun. Yeah. Another thing that tunes your instrument. So, like, if your instrument is, like, super, super out of tune, you're going to want to use the tuning pegs because that's, like, the big adjustments. Mm-hmm. When it's only a little bit out of tune, you use these things down here. They're called fine tuners. Okay. So say, like, you're playing that, like, this, that's your A string. Okay. So say you plucked it and you heard this. You could really just turn that to adjust it, and it would be fine. You just turn it up, and then you'll hear that. But if you play that and you hear, like, that or something, you're going to want to use the pegs. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Bigger the distance of, like, the sound, the bigger knobs.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and when you get to tuning, like, you can see that, like, just which one goes to where.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because sometimes it gets a little, you know, if you turn the wrong one and you're like, I want to go up. Yeah. Okay, F-holes are the holes on the instrument that look like Fs. And that's how sound comes out. You have your sound posts in there as well. That's how all the sound is produced. And going along with that, when your sound is produced, when you have your bow, you're creating vibrations on the strings, and it creates different frequencies, and that's just how you make the music. Okay. Yeah.
That's how you make sound come out of it.
Yeah. Okay. This thing, that thing, is your bridge. that holds up the strings, and that is how also you get the sound, because it gives it like a certain like tightness to it, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's your bridge, and then the strings we went over. Okay, up here, that is your scroll. So that's just the top of the instrument and where everything kind of comes together, the strings, the pegs, and stuff. Yeah. Down here is the tailpiece, which again also like just like the scroll, it like holds things together. And then the chin rest is it. Yeah, that. It's kind of misleading though, because your chin isn't actually going on it like that.
Okay.
Like, where's mine? Like, you hear chin rest and it makes you think like that.
Yeah.
But you're actually going like that. We'll get into that later. But yeah.
Okay.
It's a chin rest, but your chin doesn't actually
okay.
go on it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna quiz you.
Okay.
It's okay if you like hesitate or whatever. Where's the fingerboard?
It's this whole black thing.
Good. Yeah. Where's the bridge? Good. The scroll. Good. Fine tuners. And the pegs. Tuning pegs.
Is it just the big knobs?
Okay, yeah, the knobs. Yeah.
Okay, I was sure
yeah.
Pegs.
Sorry. F holes. Good. And your strings, you know. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Now let's take out the bow. I'm not gonna use the bow. I'm just gonna show you a little bit about it. Okay. Here is your bow. Here is the stick, the wood, and they use horsehair for the hair of it, because it's a good thickness and stuff. And yeah. So this part, the biggest part, is called the frog.
Okay.
And up here is the tip. So you see how it's like really loose right now and everything's kind of just hanging there? So this, you're going to turn this when you play to the right.
Okay.
And that tightens it. And you want to get it where it's not too tight, because then you're going to put too much tension in the bow. But enough so that there is some tension, so that way you can play.
Okay.
and it makes a sound on the string.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's just a little bit about the bow.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. So now that you know the parts of it, let's talk a little bit about just like instrument care and stuff.
Okay.
So I already mentioned with the tuning pegs how like you don't want to do it too tight, or don't do it too quickly or anything, because then your strings will snap and stuff. What was I just gonna say? Caring for it, right? Okay, when you are like holding it and stuff, just be super careful about like your surroundings and stuff, and don't like just go swinging around and stuff. Yeah. And whenever you're not like playing it, when it's up, we have this thing called rest position, where you can either have it resting on your leg like that, or you can put it like what we call in the garage. So like your arm is the garage and it's just hanging out in there. So those are like two options that you can have whenever you're not playing, so that you just don't know what to do with it and you're just like sitting there like, hey. Yeah, so those are two things. Yeah, and whenever you're not, like, just make sure that you put it away in the case safely. Yeah. A thing about the bow, make sure that whenever you put it back, you loosen it again. So remember how I said you have to tighten it when you play? Make sure that you loosen it when you put it away, because the tension that it has, when it's too tight, it'll just wear out the bow eventually, and then it'll get all warped and stuff. So you want to remember to loosen it every time you put it away. Okay, awesome. So now posture with the Viola. Okay, so when you're sitting in a chair, you'll usually be in a chair that has a back. You don't. I keep doing this. You don't want your butt to be all the way back, and like the chair is there for support. The back of the chair is there for support, but you don't want to be like slouched and stuff. You want to have good posture and sit up straight. But you should be able to have some room like in the back of the chair, just because you want to be on your feet, and it should be like almost like a 90-degree angle between your knees. And like they should be pretty parallel to the floor and stuff. Okay. Yeah, good. Okay. So that's it when you're sitting. And then when you're standing...
We have to play it when standing?
What?
We have to play it when standing?
Yeah. Okay. So stand up. Okay, so it's okay about holding it right now. Just put it up on... Yeah, we'll go over that after. But you don't want to have your back arched. You don't want anything like that. You don't want to be all wobbly. You want to try to find a good balance. So, like, your feet should be a little spread apart, maybe, like, shoulder width apart. You can put that down. Just get into it. And, yeah, so you want to just, like, kind of, like, feel your center and, like, be super balanced. Because if you end up, like, playing, you're, like, leaning on one side and, like, your hip is out or something, it's just, like, uncomfortable and it's not appealing to watch either. Yeah, so balance is, like, a big thing to remember when you're playing and standing and just holding it in general.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, cool. So now we're going to try to put it up. And there's a shoulder rest in here. How long is this going? Hold on. 12 minutes. Okay. Alright, a little more. So this is your shoulder rest, and we already adjusted it to how it fits. So you're going to want the thick part, the squishy part, to go on... Yeah, you're going to want it to go on this side.
Okay.
Which is closest to the metal part over here.
Okay.
Because that is where your chin and your shoulder, where it all meets. Okay. So that's going to be the most comfortable. Okay, so you can hold that. Okay, so how does the Statue of Liberty stand?
Shoot.
Like, what does she hold?
She's holding her,
the torch, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so she stands with it like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, do that. Make sure it's in your left hand. Yeah, good. Okay. So, you're holding up your torch. Then you're just gonna bring it in. Okay, good. But see how high it is right now? You notice how high? So that's gonna be too high, so then just bring it down a little bit. Where it's comfortable, relax your shoulder. Good, yeah. Does that feel weird?
No, it feels okay.
Does that feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Good, okay. Do it again. So just keep doing that kind of exercise. You don't have to hold it with your right hand. Just hold it up, bring it in, and try not to, like, fidget around your neck too much. Like, don't like, go like that or, like, adjust your body too much. You just want it to come to you. It's just coming to you.
Okay. I'm making it.
Okay,
so
good.
Wait.
Is that too high, or is that right?
That's good.
Look in the mirror. Also, the mirror's like your best friend, too.
Does it look like it's too high? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you want, remember to keep your shoulder relaxed enough. Yeah, that's better.
I don't want the neck to be higher than...
Right, it should pretty much be in eye contact with you. I mean, eye level. So... when, like, you should be looking at the scroll. Like, you can see the scroll.
Yes.
So, like, you don't want it to be up there. It should all be eye level.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that looks really good. That feels comfortable?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So now you have the idea of what it should look like. Now do it again.
Okay, wait. Can I watch it?
Yeah, watch.
Okay, so start there. Too high.
Good.
it, but yeah.
So is it like? Do you feel like you can hold it like strongly, like, or is it like falling out a little bit, like?
No, I can.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
The chin fits very well into it, actually.
Good.
Like my
Okay,
jaw.
I'm gonna stop this.